What is up, Impact Nation? I am your host, Jason, and this is another episode of the Anthem of Impact Wrestling show. And I will be going over last night's Impact episode from July 27th, 2017. Overall thoughts real quick on the show. I thought it was really good, actually. Had a lot of really good matches. You had little bits of everything. You know, your comedy, your full blown show. It was. I just thought it was really well done, put together episode. Were there a whole lot of huge, like, long arc stories going on, developing? Not really. Outside the Alberto El Patron stuff with LAX. A little bit with the Bobby Lashley Seidel title shot stuff. But I mentioned this in my video I uploaded yesterday, my plea to the hardcore WWE fan. And it was, that I think, if they were going to be starting to watch this show anymore, you don't really have to worry about too many big storylines. And I think the reason why is because right now it's just kind of, these storylines are just to get us to the 17th of August. I think at Destination X, on August 17th, a live show. We already know that the new titles are coming out. I just feel like that's kind of been the date that they've set as almost the main overhaul, rebranding of the show and of the company. And then from August 17th through Bound for Glory, that's going to be the main big storylines that you would really want to try to catch in before you can get there. So I'm not really ever expecting just like these huge, humongous, amazing stories going on right now. You just have a couple and you get something just enough to get you from week to week, right? But I thought overall it was just a really good show. So let's go ahead and let's start the review, shall we? So we start off the show again, Joseph Park and Grado pulling up. And of course, Grado, I guess, is supposed to propose tonight to Laurel Van Ness. He doesn't look too sure, but Park's, no, hey, here's your proposal gear. You're going to love it, man. You're going to do a good job. So then that gets us to them doing another kind of recap package and introducing Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer. Talked about it being Impact Day, and he's the guest ring announcer for that first match, which is a 6-man tag. And man, what a way to kick off a show, huh? You got a team of Eli Drake, Chris Adonis, and EC3 versus Eddie Edwards, Marufuji, and Moose. Again, this is how Impact should always start. I just really think that I've said this every episode, that there isn't a match, that they should. And every time that there is a match, I say, this is how it should. Because it is. That's one thing that I really liked about Impact whenever it was, the show Impact, whenever it first debuted on Fox Sports, that was kind of the point of it. It's an hour long, and it was just an impact of nothing but matches, just crazy action, right? I think that's something that they shouldn't, get away from too much. You can still let stories develop, but make sure there's always like this really good, exciting match that kicks off the show, not a promo, not backstage, or anything like that. You can do those little things like they did in this episode. You had a recap package. You had that introduction thing with Grado and stuff before the opening credits. That's the way you can get around that. So you still have a little storytelling stuff that kind of can weave in and out throughout the show, but you got that one match that starts it off. And I thought this was a pretty good match. I'm not going to say it was a typical match like this, but it did what it was supposed to do. Let every guy kind of shine for a little bit, kind of get certain people over. Eddie's one of them, Moose, Eli Drake, and EC3. Those were your 4 guys that definitely had to get over in this match. And you used Adonis and Marufuji to kind of accomplish that. Without letting them look bad, but, Uh, they were the ones that shined out of a really good match, and that's what you want out of those type of things. But like everybody's getting in their moves, and then finally EC3 is the one that gets the pin on Moose. Excuse me, with his new finisher that he did at Slammiversary, and later on they did a backstage interview with him, and he called it the ECD. All right, the Ethan Carter Driver. I like it. I'm not gonna lie, I like the Ethan Carter Driver part. ECD, I guess it's a little bit quicker to say, but it's just, I don't know. To me, ECD, it's like you're saying the alphabet just, you're just off. Like you're just off if you were just doing the alphabet. But anyway, like I said, I thought it was a good match. It's definitely a great way to open up just a weekly show. You get some of your big stars. It's eye-catching. So for people that might just be sticking around on Pop, watching Young and the Restless, yeah, I don't know if those would be the same people that would stick around for wrestling. But they should. They'd love it. They'd like it. But no. But you know what it is? It's eye-catching, just in case anybody's flipping through, because it is the top of the hour, and a lot of people, maybe not as much anymore now you have guides, but some people might be flipping and go, whoa, what's this? And that's your first match, right? So then they're like, whoa, who's that? Oh, okay. So I like that part of it. I thought it's fairly entertaining. I wasn't sitting there thinking, oh, this is bullshit. EC3 won, which is great. But then after the match, they go backstage to Mackenzie Mitchell, and she's getting ready to do a report. She goes, you know what? Oh, hold on, come here. And there's this random fat guy that just keeps doing little squat things, right? And he's been doing this pretty much since the episode after Slammiversary, I think. But it's just like really random, and it's always like they're doing something backstage, and then they kind of pan over, and they happen to see that guy there. So finally, and I kind of like the attitude on Mackenzie about this. It was kind of funny. She asked him, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" And he goes, and I actually thought this is pretty funny. He is Richard Justice, the standby wrestler. Just in case the time's running long or the time's running short and they need a filler, he's ready to go. I just thought it was funny the way he delivered those lines. It was pretty good. Mackenzie's playing off of him, it was good. Had no clue where this is going. Could really kind of care less, but I'm ready to get some laughs out of it because it's clearly, I think, just some type of joke thing. Don't know much about that guy. I don't know if he's an indie guy that just, I don't know. But it was funny. We'll see where it goes. Then we get a vignette for OVE. Jake and Dave Christ, or Christ. I don't know how they pronounce their last names. I've seen a little bit of them on the independent scene, as far as seeing random things on YouTube or on DVDs that I might get in my wrestling subscription boxes or something like that. But I've heard a lot about them from other people that have seen them a lot. And from every indication, these guys are going to be great. I can't wait. The gimmick looks really cool. Almost a mix of DCC, Decay, the Wyatts a little bit. Just kind of like an all mixture of all kind of, it's not too, what word am I trying to think here? It's not going to be too, goofy as far as off the wall, horror gimmicky thing like that. So I think it's gonna be good though. I don't know exactly, but the one that looked like a devil mask or a sheep devil mask kind of thing. From what I could tell, you don't see too much of it. It's really quick cuts. But yeah, if anybody has more information or links to some more matches of theirs or something, leave them in the comments, man, because I'd really like to check them out sometime. Really get to know them before they debut in Impact. But then after that, we come back from commercial. Lashley's out in the ring, calling out Bruce. And I thought the promo we cut was actually pretty good. I feel again, and Jeff's always done pretty good about this whenever he's writing stories and part of creative is pulling out real life situations. And I think this is kind of a real life thing. A lot of fans have been very vocal about people like, Patron or somebody else coming straight in, first day on the job, and they're going after titles. Fans have had that problem with a lot of people that come in, like from the WWE or something, like out of nowhere, the guys that they've been rooting forever is no longer in the title picture because they're putting it on, a WWE guy, which I can't fault Impact for ever doing that, to a point. Okay, we've got to capitalize on the star. People know him. People much bigger outside of this company know him, and let's put the title on him so he can have it and talk about it and be kind of like our hood or ornament for a while. It's almost like a necessary evil to gain a bigger audience. So I can't fault him for it. But yeah, of course, you buy in and you follow a wrestler for so long. Of course, you want them always to be up top. But that's basically what Lashley was talking about in this. People coming in and he's tired of it. If, there's not enough order, well, then guess what? He's going to start making his own matches too then. And at Destination X, he's going to face Patron for that world title. As Bruce comes out, all of a sudden here comes Matt Sydal running into the ring. Gets in Bobby Lashley's face, says, no, I want it. Lashley goes to attack Sydal, but Sydal gets the high knee up to the face, knocks down Lashley. Sydal goes to the top rope, hits that 450 splash. Or 450 splash. That shooting star press onto Lashley. And just, standing up tall, leads back up the ring. Later on in the night, Bruce announces that Destination X will be Matt Sydal versus Bobby Lashley. And the winner will get that title shot that they have been wanting. So they kind of left it open. So I don't know if Sydal is going to go after the world title if he were to win that match at Destination X. Maybe he goes, I want that X title. So they left that open, and so I don't know. They did that for a reason, right? They wouldn't have said. He would have said if both of them were going to eventually go for the world title. Bruce probably would have said would be the number one contender for the world title. So we'll see what happens there. I can't wait for that match though, because one thing that I've noticed with Bobby going against obviously like Eddie Edwards, whenever he was in that tag team match with LAX, he's wrestled some of these smaller guys before, and he can hang with them, and make it look good. And so whenever you have somebody at the level of Matt Sydal and somebody at the level of Bobby Lashley, this match should be off the charts good. I cannot wait for Destination X already. After that, we get the last first round matchup of the Super X Cup. We get Davey Richards versus, I'm not even going to try to say his first name because I can't remember it, Ishimori. Man, I'm impressed with both. Obviously, I love Davey Richards. He's just great. Ishimori, though, keeps impressing me big time. Learning more about him. He's really good. And I kind of figured this was going to be a pretty, two very like styles going at it. And I liked it because it was different. This match was very, very different than the rest. It kind of started off slow as far as, just kind of going back and forth. Nothing really big, no big moves. More of the strong mat style, technician type stuff. But it was very hard hitting. Definitely brought that strong, like I said, that Japanese strong style into this match. And then as it was leading up to the ending, that's where it really started getting crazy, and they started pulling out those big spots, and you could tell it was elevating. And that's a great way to tell a story. Not enough people do this anymore in their matches, where it's a regular thing. Okay, well, guess what? Now it's gonna take us doing this to try to finish it. Well, now we got to step it up even more because that wasn't enough. And then you end it with crazy thing, which was a Ishimori 450 splash onto Davey Richards for the 1-2-3. I haven't seen any of the spoilers, so I don't know for the rest of the tapings if Davey's on or not. But so that could have been the last match for Davey and Level Force Wrestling, which sucks. I totally get it. He's, foolproofing his life and making it a very bright future for him and his family. Wesley Richards, thank you for portraying the Davey Richards character and really killing it this last year with that Natural Born Killers thing. And, thanks for entertaining people, and good luck in the rest that you do. I know I saw him on Twitter, he said he's not going to retire, he's just not wrestling as often, so I'm guessing he's probably still going to do like some indie stuff and have fun with that. So, best of luck to him and everything that he does. Dude seems like a great guy and deserves a lot of success. So, then we get the last knockout standing match. Rosemary versus Sienna. This, to me, was match of the night. Davey and Ishimori came very close, but this match was great. It was awesome. Really good storytelling. The heel did heel things. Even with the help of KM. It's just both these two becomes two of my favorite women's wrestlers. I mean, for real, they're right up there. I mean, this is the new I have to say, for the new changing, because it seems like a new changing of the guard, right? Of the knockouts. This is the new Gail Kim and Angelina Love, to me, in my eyes. And what I mean by that is I'm not trying to say like ODB wasn't good, or Kong wasn't good, or Madison Rain wasn't good, Roxy wasn't good, stuff like that. I'm not saying that those ladies weren't good, but there was something different about Gail and Angelina Love. I just felt like those were kind of the top two at that time. And, Kong was obviously there. Taylor Wilde was obviously up there. But it's like Gail, Angelina, and now Rosemary, Sienna. Just as far as being kind of like great names that kick ass, that are right there. They're good at what they do. They have great gimmicks. They bought full into what they do. And that's just where I see them at right now for this new kind of resurgence of the knockouts, right? And but this match, man, started off with Rosemary just getting the match jump started, attacking Sienna. It was super, super physical. They go into the crowd and brawl, and Rosemary starts shoving Sienna's face in that fence, and then does that tarantula thing over that rail. Oh, that looks so painful. Like, it had to be for Sienna to like sit there like that and just on that chain link fence bar. Oh, that did not look like it felt good. They do a couple other big spots. Sienna tries to go for the AK-47. Is that what she calls it, right? From the apron and drops her on the floor. That couldn't have felt good. They do a couple other things with chairs and stuff like that. Then it leads to Sienna laying there in one of the corners up against the table. She's got a trash can in between her legs. Rosemary's going to do the coast to coast. Cam gets up. Rosemary thinks she's, I've caught your distraction. Blows the mist into Cam's face. As soon as she turns back around, Sienna throws the trash can right into Rosemary's face, which causes Rosemary to fall off the top turnbuckle into the table that's set up on the outside. And that was a brutal fall through that table. That did not look good. Looked almost like, it was always like that strap, plastic strap around the table that kind of holds it together. It looked like it broke, and like her head still hit that part that stayed stretched out. And man, it did not look good. Ugh, that was a bad looking fall. But of course that leads to a Sienna win, and she retains. Man, like I said, just an amazing match. It was just something, again, a good showcase of what the knockouts are all about in Global Force Wrestling. And I can't wait to see what happens with the rest of it. You know, Jeremy Borash had said that they have signed, or they are going to sign, two of the top free agents. Two of the top women free agents right now. Man, I can't wait to see who those are and how they fall in line here with the current landscape of the knockouts. Then we get a Patron interview. Again, I've been saying this a lot. His promos are very passionate. His in-ring work, it seems very motivated, and he goes out there and tries to, tear the house down every time. But that was good. It was a great little interview there. Then we get Trevor Lee coming out, still with the X Division title, and again, it's just killing it. Love this gimmick. It's just absolutely hilarious, awesome. And talks about how he's, brought this guy in that he's almost honored to be facing, and brings out one of the best luchadors in Mexico. Out comes Octagoncito, which was great. And he starts off doing some comedy stuff, hold him on the head, doing some other kind of just funny things, fighting him on his knees, definitely showing some comedy stuff, but that, of course, leads to Octagoncito to get the upper hand, get some offense in, get some moves in. Trevor Lee then doesn't know really kind of what to do, rolls out of the ring, and gets himself counted out. Acting as if, he's got the champion's advantage, so that, he might lose the match, but he keeps the title, right? So I love how he's even going in his matches like he's the actual champion. I think it's absolutely hilarious. But as he standing outside and he got counted out, he starts walking up the ramp, and then here comes Sonjay again. But again, he is stopped by security and Bruce Pritchard. So we don't know why they're not just being like, no, yeah, hey, Trevor, come on, give us the title. It's Sonjay's. So that's interesting and a lot of fun. See where this goes with, and JB brought up on commentary again too about, Bruce has been making a lot of weird, odd decisions. So there's definitely an angle there with the Bruce Pritchard thing. And I'm interested to see where that goes. I know a lot of people don't like Bruce. I'm not necessarily a huge Bruce Pritchard fan. I'm just saying it should be interesting. And if they're going to go with this heel thing, or possibly a sabotager type thing, gimmick for Bruce, that plays in again to people's real life perception on Bruce as far as fans go. That they can kind of pull, feeling strings on and get people at home to feel a certain way and to buy in and to really get involved in that story. But then we get a LAX video from the clubhouse to kind of go over the strategy and talk about, the gauntlet match that Homicide will start off first and blah, blah, blah. We'll be taking them out. Excuse me. Then we get the moment of the night. Grado's proposal. Starts off with Grado coming out, first it was Joseph Parr coming out. And then he says, come on, Grado. And he's coming out in this tight, like 70s orange tux. Looks like the tux off of Dumb and Dumber. Looked absolutely hilarious. And he calls out Laurel Van Ness. So Laurel comes out and he's, is praising her again, and finally gets down on one knee and opens up a ring and says, will you marry me? As everybody's kind of chanting like, yes, yes, yes. Allie's out there all of a sudden on the apron, and she's jumping up and down like, yeah, say yes, like she's happy for her, which causes Braxton to come running out and be like, what are you doing? And I'm kind of thinking the same thing. Like, I know she's supposed to be like this gullible, bubbly, like happy, want to love everybody type person. But yeah, what are you doing? Why are you out there? I was almost ready. I almost thought, like when I first saw Allie up there and she's still jumping up and down, I was actually thinking maybe, okay, now all of a sudden Laurel is going to turn around and drop this like I'm crazy gimmick and just start beating the hell out of Allie. I thought maybe that would be like kind of what happened, like it, and talk about a long way to get around that to finally beat up Allie, but I was kind of waiting for it a little bit. But it doesn't happen. Braxton, like I said, comes down, gets Allie, and he takes her to the back. Then it looks like she's about to say yes or give an answer, but then Congo Kong's music hits, and Congo Kong comes out. Of course, scares Grado and Joseph Park. They run out and leave. Laurel's kind of upset with Congo Kong, but tells him to calm down, and then they leave. So again, we'll see where this goes, because I don't think this is it. This is not the end. So then we finally get the main event. LAX versus Alberto El Patron. Like I said, Homicide gets the first start, and he does not last long at all. So I don't know like what's up with Homicide, or if they were just trying to crunch for time, and they're like, listen, Homicide, you never wrestle, so you'll be the quickest pin, because we got to make the tag team look strong. So I don't know how that was. I don't know if there's just something with him, like where he's still not like 100%, or he just doesn't want to wrestle anymore. I'm not sure. But then Ortiz is second, and he kind of gets LAX back on track. They kind of start using a little bit of the numbers game, just a little bit, to help Ortiz as well. This fall goes a pretty decent amount of time, some back and forth, but then it finally comes back to they're up on the top rope together. Patron knocks Ortiz. He kind of does the fall back, but his legs stay tangled up. Double stomp. Patron wins the second one. Now in comes Santana, and now they're really up in that numbers game thing and the gang mentality, and a lot of interference in this particular match, the third match. But then Patron does get the upper hand and gets the win with the cross arm breaker. As Patron's getting up, LAX comes in, jumps him, which then brings out Hijo de Dos Coras and Dos Coras, or Caras, and try to help him out. But then LAX even starts beating them up. Then out comes Veterans of War. Again, LAX keeps the upper hand, but I guess that allowed at least Patron to roll out of the ring to get a chair, because then he comes back in with a chair and cleans out house. And then that's how we get off. All those guys raising their hands up in the middle of the ring. So it was kind of an odd way to finish. I mean, they're really kind of booking Patron strong, obviously. I just don't know why LAX keeps the upper hand no matter what. Like, whenever VOW came in, that's whenever the tide should have turned, and then all of them beat up LAX instead of just Patron with the chair. Because, man, that kind of makes VOW look a little weak, right? So I don't know. Overall, though, I thought, like I said, I thought the show was great. I thought it was a lot of fun to watch. I was very entertained. The 2 hours flew by, and I was really, really tired yesterday too, going into that. But overall, it was really good. Kept me entertained. I never once felt like tired watching it, like I was about to fall asleep, or me going, this needs to end so I can go to bed. Never once felt that way. This one definitely flew. It was very entertaining. Thought the show just flowed really well. And I think that sometimes that helps as far as making time go by fast. But yeah, then I can't wait, man. This is becoming must-see TV. Like, sometimes there have been times in the past where I'm like, I'm already DVRing it. I'll just watch it tomorrow. I don't ever want to do that right now. Since Slammiversary, I definitely do not want to do that. It's been fun, entertaining, appointment television, and can't wait to see what they're doing next week, and then the week after that. And then Destination Next on the 17th, I think, is going to be absolutely amazing. Cannot wait. It's just going to be fun watching a live show. It really is. And, yeah, so that's my review for this week. I'm not sure if I'm going to do another video this weekend or not. I have a couple other things on my mind that maybe doing videos on. I don't know. But stay tuned, you know. One way to not miss a video that I might put up this weekend is to hit that subscribe button and then hit that little bell button, that little notification button. It'll let you know whenever I post a video. Also, please hit that like button if you do like my videos. Leave comments down below. Hit me up on Twitter if you want to talk wrestling on Twitter at Anthem of Impact. But you know what? If I don't see you guys this weekend, I will then see you guys next Friday whenever I review another episode of Impact Wrestling. So, peace.